guys, Matt here at OrthoSport HQ in Chagrin Falls, and today I'm going to be going over squat depth. So how to improve our squat depth and how to find out what's actually limiting us from achieving our full desired squat depth. Before we get into anything, let me first preface this by saying that there's no gold standard ideal depth we're looking for here. Everyone's made differently and everyone has different goals. So could have a CrossFit athlete wanting to catch a clean and a deeper squat, or could be a mother of a newborn simply wanting to squat down deeper to pick up her child. Regardless of who you are though, I think being able to squat down to full depth is important. It's a movement pattern we should all have, and it's something that carries over a lot in our everyday life. So in the next couple of videos, we'll go over a couple things. I'll give you a couple exercises to try and hopes to improve your squat depth. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is positioning of our legs. And like I said earlier, everyone's going to have a different position. The important thing is to learn your position or find your position that's most optimal to you to achieve the best depth. So like I showed just earlier, some people are going to squat narrow and some people are going to be able to squat out pretty wide with the legs. I'm going to achieve a narrow stance here and give you an example of a narrow stance squat. It looks pretty uncomfortable for me, and it is. My back rounds, I have some pinching in the front. So now I just bring my legs out a little bit wider to achieve a wider stance, and it looks like my back can stay a little bit flatter. I have no pinching in the front. That's a little bit better for me. I want you guys to do this test at home called the Scour test. I learned it from Stuart McGill. You're gonna go on all fours here. With the knees narrow, bring the butt back, and then with the knees out wide, bring the butt back, and you'll find which kind of position is more optimal for you. Give it a try. So the next section we'll get into after positioning is mobility. And in this video, we'll be going over hip flexion, and that is when our femur or leg bone is driven up, bringing those knees to chest. And you can imagine we'll need a good amount of hip flexion for a full depth squat. That is me demonstrating hip flexion seated, and then you'll see me go into a squat here, needing a good amount of hip flexion to squat down. If I feel any discomfort or kind of pinching or pain in that front of that hip there, I'm going to show you a quick corrective exercise. You'll need a exercise band and something sturdy enough to anchor the band to. Go ahead and put the affected leg into the band, bringing the band up high in that hip joint there. Once there, go onto all fours and move a little bit forward to create some tension on that exercise band. I want to rock back and forth gently, and I should feel a pull, almost like it's pulling my leg back. Maybe do a little bit of circles there. Hold for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Come on out. And then let's retest our squat to see if it's better. The next mobility piece we'll go over here is ankle dorsiflexion. And we need a good amount of dorsiflexion in order to squat down to full depth. If we lack it, then that can create problems up the chain here. You'll see me squat down, I need a good amount. Here's me without dorsiflexion, you'll see my hips have to compensate. So if I feel any soft tissue tightness on the back of that calf, let's try a quick stretch to see if we can eliminate that. That affected foot should be behind me, toes pointing forward and my heel on the ground. I'm in front of a machine to lean against. You can use a wall. Lean my body closer to that wall or machine, and I should feel a little stretch on the back of my calf. Hold maybe 30 seconds to a minute, a couple of times, and then come on off and retest our squat to see if that's any better. Let's say that isn't better. Well, maybe you feel a little pinch in the front of that ankle. That's going to be a little bit different in terms of tightness. That'll be more of a joint restriction. So you'll first get a band, anchor it again to something sturdy, and then I want you to also get a box or a chair to elevate the foot onto. You'll place the band just under the ankle bones there. And then once a good amount of tension's on that band, you'll drive that knee over the toes a little bit. Hold for a couple seconds, and you should feel quite a deep stretch in that joint there. This is increasing that dorsiflexion in that joint, come on off, retest, and see how you feel. The next mobility piece we'll address here is tibial internal rotation, and our tibia is our shin bone here, and I just demonstrated my feet going in. That is internal rotation. I need internal rotation of our shin bone in order to squat down fully. They move a little bit, believe it or not. So you'll see me use my right foot, not very much, but my left foot has a lot of tibial internal rotation, so my right foot is restricted. A little quick corrective exercise here: box or chair, place that affected or restricted foot on top of that box or chair, both hands around that upper shin bone, twist in, and then drive the knee over the toe. I'm mobilizing with movement here. So I'm using my hands to turn my shin bone in or internally rotate it, and then drive my knee over my toes. Come on off, retest, and see if that is any better. The last thing we'll address in our mobility segment will be hip external rotation. And as you see in the video, you'll see me testing each leg to check my external rotation. My right looked pretty good, but my left, man, that knee isn't able to come down as much as that right, which could mean a external rotation restriction. When I squat, my thigh bone needs to actually externally rotate a little bit in order to squat down fully. Here is a quick stretch to improve external rotation. Leg at a 90-degree angle, and my trunk is nice and upright. And all I'm going to do is bend over at my hips. I can kind of go in or out. What I'm not looking to do is drop my head or chest to the floor. I'm still keeping my core braced and my trunk upright and just bending at the hips. Hold that for 30 to 45 seconds, twice. Come on up, and then let's recheck that squat to see if that feels any easier. Okay guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give those corrective exercises a try if you're lacking that mobility, and feel free to play around with the different leg positioning for deeper depth in a squat. I hope you improve the squat depth, and I'll see you in the next video.